Imagine a world where digital anonymity fueled a culture of harassment, doxing, and even real-world threats, all hidden behind the pixelated glow of early internet forums. A time when online communities, meant for harmless discussion, morphed into crucibles of pure, unadulterated toxicity. This wasn't some fringe corner of the web. This was a widespread phenomenon that scarred countless individuals and left an indelible mark on internet history. The question is, how did we get here, and what were the true costs of this dark era? To truly grasp the depths of this period, we need to rewind to the dawn of widespread internet access. The early web, particularly in the late 90s and early 2000s, was heralded as a utopian space, a place where ideas could flow freely, where geographical boundaries dissolved, and anyone, anywhere, could connect and share. Forums, chat rooms, and burgeoning social media platforms like LiveJournal and early Reddit prototypes were seen as blueprints for a new kind of global village. People flocked to these spaces, eager to discuss hobbies, politics, and personal experiences, often finding solace and genuine connection. It was a digital Wild West, yes, but one brimming with potential. You could be anyone, say anything, and for a glorious brief moment, that freedom felt exhilarating. There were no real rules, just a nascent sense of digital etiquette. But the very anonymity that empowered self-expression also provided a fertile ground for a far darker impulse. Without real-world repercussions, the boundaries of acceptable behavior began to blur, then shatter. Users discovered the thrill of provocation, the power of collective outrage, and the intoxicating rush of tearing someone down from behind a screen. The initial promise of the internet, a democratic platform for all voices, slowly began to corrode, giving way to an insidious undercurrent of cruelty. The innocent banter escalated, the critiques became personal attacks, and the desire for debate morphed into a hunger for dominance. It was a slow, almost imperceptible shift for many, but for those caught in its crosshairs, it was like watching a beautiful garden turn into a minefield. Then came the true unraveling. What started as harmless trolling soon morphed into something far more sinister. The concept of doxing, the act of revealing someone's personal, identifying information online, became a weapon of choice. Imagine a teenager innocently posting about their favorite video game, suddenly finding their home address, phone number, and even their parents' workplaces plastered across a public forum, all because they expressed an unpopular opinion. This wasn't an isolated incident, it became a pattern. Forums like 4chan, notorious for their anything goes philosophy, became ground zero for these campaigns. Anonymous users, fueled by a collective sense of power and a complete disregard for human empathy, would launch coordinated attacks. They'd dig through old posts, exploit weak privacy settings, and even engage in social engineering to unearth private details. The victims often had no recourse. Reporting mechanisms were rudimentary, and law enforcement, still grappling with the basics of cybercrime, was largely unprepared to handle such abstract digital assaults. The cruelty wasn't limited to doxing. Swatting emerged, a terrifying act where attackers would call emergency services to a victim's home under false pretenses, often reporting fake hostage situations or bomb threats, leading to armed police storming an unsuspecting person's residence. The intent was simple: to cause maximum real-world terror through digital means. Online hate mobs formed with chilling efficiency, selecting targets for arbitrary reasons, a perceived slight, a differing political view, or simply being in the wrong place at the wrong time. These mobs would descend in waves, flooding inboxes with hateful messages, bombarding social media profiles and spreading malicious rumors. For many, it was an inescapable nightmare, a constant barrage that shattered their sense of safety, both online and off. The normalization of this digital cruelty was perhaps the most unsettling aspect. What was once shocking became mundane. Emotional distress became a form of entertainment for some. The very fabric of online discourse was being rewoven with threads of malice and disregard for human dignity, leaving a trail of broken lives and shattered psyches in its wake. It was a perverse evolution of connection, where building bridges was less appealing than burning them down. What they discovered next changed everything. The peak of this toxic era, arguably stretching from the mid-2000s to the early 2010s, exposed the frightening potential for digital communities to become breeding grounds for unchecked hostility. Consider the chilling case of Ghazi, a forum user whose every public online move became a source of ridicule and harassment for years. His personal life, his struggles with mental health, even his physical appearance were mercilessly dissected and mocked across multiple platforms. This wasn't just playful teasing. It was a sustained, coordinated campaign designed to break him. The sheer volume of people participating, each contributing their own dose of vitriol, created an echo chamber where negativity amplified itself exponentially. This collective dynamic, often referred to as a mob mentality or hive mind, allowed individuals to shed their personal accountability. When everyone else is doing it, when the target is dehumanized to a mere avatar, the lines between right and wrong become dangerously blurred. The consequences extended far beyond the screen. Victims of doxing and harassment faced genuine threats to their physical safety, often leading to severe anxiety, depression, and even suicide attempts. Careers were destroyed, relationships fractured, and the trust in online interactions was irrevocably damaged. The chilling fact is that this era wasn't just about anonymous bullies. It highlighted a systemic failure within the burgeoning digital landscape to protect its users. Platforms were slow or unwilling to implement robust moderation tools. The focus was on growth, not safety. This lack of oversight created a vacuum that bad actors eagerly filled, pushing the boundaries of what was acceptable until the boundaries themselves seemed to vanish. Entire subcultures emerged that reveled in controversy and outrage, finding a perverse sense of community in shared cruelty. The constant dopamine hits from winning an online argument or owning a perceived opponent created a feedback loop, reinforcing toxic behaviors. It was a dark carnival of human nature, played out on the global stage of the internet, where the loudest, most aggressive voices often drowned out everything else. This wasn't merely a phase, it was a deeply ingrained cultural shift that revealed a darker side of human connection, once amplified by the seemingly consequence-free nature of the digital realm. The cost was immeasurable, paid in the emotional and psychological trauma of countless individuals who simply wanted to connect. To this day, we live with the lingering shadow of that toxic era. While some platforms have made strides in moderation and user safety, the fundamental patterns of online aggression, doxing, and mob mentality remain. We still see echoes of those early days in cancel culture, in targeted harassment campaigns across social media, and in the enduring belief held by some that online anonymity grants a license for cruelty. The battle for a truly civil and safe internet is far from over. The dark world of that toxic era serves as a stark reminder of the immense power of digital communities for both good and ill. It forces us to constantly question the ethical dimensions of our online interactions and the responsibility we bear, even when hidden behind a screen. Have we truly learned the lessons of that chaotic period? Or are we, in different guises, simply repeating the same mistakes? The answer perhaps lies in how we choose to navigate the complexities of our increasingly digital lives, striving for connection without succumbing to the temptations of casual cruelty. If you want more mysteries like this, the next video explores the chilling story of the internet's first true urban legend and how it spread like wildfire, blurring the lines between fiction and reality and captivating a generation.